Alright, this is the construction process for the Kansas City Skywalk demonstration. So here are the materials that were given. We were told that we had to build two bridges, one for the one rod system and one for the two rod system. So what we initially did is we had to build the box beams, which is the most important part. So how we did this is we took two small balsa wood sticks and we glued them on top of this popsicle sticks. This created one of these, which is just a C-beam, and we took two C-beams, one box beam. And how we glued them together is important because if we did popsicle stick to popsicle stick, had their backs facing towards each other, this would just be a standard beam, and this would have been much stronger. But since they did the balsa wood stick to the balsa wood stick, this creates a beam, and the glue between them would be the weld. And the hanging rods go through the weld, and it makes it very structurally unsound. So here you can see we're measuring out the distance that the three box beams have to be from each other so that it hangs perfectly straight underneath the table. And then the two long balsa wood sticks, they're used to hold the three box beams together. So now it needs to be more structurally sound, so we just zigzag small balsa wood sticks up and down to make it more structurally sound, and we had to make 4 of these floors, 2 top floors and 2 bottom floors for our 2 bridges. So then here you can see we put 2 holes through the weld, or the glue in this case, and we tied a knot, and the knot represents the nut at the bottom that holds up the bridge, and the knot is what pulls through the box beams and causes the bridge to collapse. So here's the 2 rod system. As you can see, here's one string and it's tied at the bottom. This holds up the top floor, and then the bottom floor is held up by this string, and the knot is on the top. And we're testing to see if we're testing this as like a control to see how much weight it will hold, because the top floor has to support its weight, and then the bottom floor too. So here is just the table and the bridge underneath it. So here is the 2 rod system collapse. And you can see that was a very good representation because the hanging rods were left there, and that is exactly what happened in the real case. The hanging rods were still hanging from the ceiling, but the bridge collapsed, and that's exactly what happened in the 2 rod system. So moving on to the 1 rod system, so the rods go from the top floor all the way down to the bottom floor, and there is no knot hanging on the top floor. And then here is the video. So if I stop it right here, you can see a flaw with our design that we made, and it was this back middle hanging rod right here. You can see that it's caving in the bridge because this was too small compared to the other ones, so it's supporting most of the weight, which is causing this one to collapse before the rest of the bridge would. And this causes not great data because there's one weak spot on a bridge, and that causes the bridge just to kind of fall apart and get destroyed, and it's not as good or as representative as our 2 rod system was. So that's an error. Next time, if we were to do this again, we would definitely make sure that the knots are all in the same place so that the floor is held perfectly even and one is not shorter or longer than the other, so that that would not happen. And that will do it for the construction process.